Chapter 13 Departure. The entrance bell chimed as Twilight pushed her into her friend's place of work. Graciously, the large room into which she walked was devoid of ponies, unless you counted the 3 mannequins against the opposite wall, displaying some particularly new, interesting designs. Just as well there was no one there. Twilight wanted to do this in private. Right IQ, a familiar voice drifted out from one of the side rooms. Welcome to Kennesaw Boutique, where every garment is chic, unique, and many... Oh! Randy broke off as he stepped into the main room outside Twilight. Why, hello, Twilight. What brings you here so early? Have you finally decided to model for me? I'm telling you, darling, with a figure like yours, you'd be just perfect for it. Twilight gave a little chuckle as a compliment. Sorry, Rarity, not today. I just came to ask your advice about something. Rarity's face brightened. Aha! Even better. She gestured towards the room from which she had just come. Right this way, darling. You can get comfortable while I make us tea. Twilight made no objection to it as she followed her friend to a much smaller room, which was like if it had been designed with the exact situation in mind. There was a small glass table in the center, flanked by an elegant half-circle couch, which looked particularly welcoming. The walls were dotted with restful fixtures and landscapes, and the quaint little window in the far wall let in just enough sunlight to give everything a relaxing glow. Twilight decided that she liked this room very much. She took her seat on the couch as Rarity zipped off to yet another doorway, presumably prepared to tea. Twilight barely settled in before the fashionista returned with 2 steaming cups hovering beside her and a warm smile adorning her lips. Just the way you like it, darling, she declared as Twilight set the cup down on the table and took a seat beside her. Twilight magically lifted her teacup to her lips and took a sip, smiling at the hot, sweet taste. Perfect, Rarity. Thank you, she said. Rarity smiled and nodded. Of course. Now, what is it you wanted to talk to me about? Having already planned out what she was going to say in advance, Twilight didn't hesitate. She lowered her teacup and met Rarity's eye. Have you heard of the Manhattan display? Heard of it? Why, of course I have, Rarity said brightly. I attended last year's, and I must admit it was very exciting. Unfortunately, I'm much too busy again this year. What is your house, darling? Are you going? Twilight nodded and took another sip of tea. I am, and so is Trixie. She cast a meaningful look in Rarity's direction. The fashionista blinked a few times, but her smile didn't falter. So, you're going together? She asked. Her voice had an unusual squeaky tang to it. We are, said Twilight, turning her eyes back to her cup. Even though the conversation was going exactly as planned, she was starting to feel a little uncomfortable. Silence wasn't doing much to help that. Darling, Rarity began carefully, am I going to understand that you two are going as partners? Twilight almost spat out her tea. She gulped it down and looked across at Rarity. How did you know about that? Rarity pursed her lips as if trying to stop herself from smiling. It didn't work very well. I didn't. I guessed. You came here to ask for my advice about something. So that's the reason. She shook her head. Oh, but it doesn't matter, darling. This is absolutely wonderful news. It is, said Twilight skeptically. She expected her friends to be understanding, of course, but she hadn't expected that Rarity would actually be excited about the idea. But of course, Rarity said. It'd be good for the 2 of you to get out and do something together, rather than hanging around that stuffy library all the time. Not that there's anything wrong with your library, of course. She added hastily as Twilight threw her a look. So you approve? Twilight managed. Darling, I'm insulted you would think anything but, said Rarity, though the smile on her face told no tale of it. If you don't mind my asking, when exactly did you two become, more than friends? Twilight said uncomfortably. Why does every pony keep calling it that? The memory of the night they became partners was, of course, still burned in Twilight's mind. Barbara wanted to tell Rarity everything, but another part of her said was an element of privacy to the memory. They wanted to keep it to herself and Trixie. Rarity obviously noticed Twilight's hesitation, because she took her head and took on an apologetic tone. Forgive me, darling, I didn't mean to pry. No, it's fine, said Twilight, setting her teacup on the table. It was about a week or 2 ago. I don't really remember. One day we were out on a walk, she just pulled out the invitation and asked me to compete with her. Twilight punched away the awkward end of her short explanation with a shrug. Rarity's eyes stopped smiling. Wait, what do you mean, compete with her? Sorry, I meant alongside her. Twilight corrected with a smile, so you could see how that would be confusing, having just said that they were partners. Rarity still stared blankly. And a long moment passed. Twilight raised an eyebrow. In the display, she tried, as partners. Another pause. Then Rarity gasped the realization. Oh! You mean partners as in... Well, of course. What you meant... I just... How silly of me to assume. She started stammering at how half sentences in a faint attempt to... Well, Twilight wasn't really sure what she was trying to achieve. Twilight, hopelessly lost, magically grasped hold of Rarity's teacup and offered it to the panicking white unicorn. Rarity grabbed it without hesitation and took a great gulp, downing the entire thing before letting out a content sigh. She turned to offer to Twilight to see if it smiled. I'm ever so sorry, darling. I'm not quite sure what came over me, she muttered. It's just that you've been spending so much time together lately, She looked down at her empty teacup. Well, I assumed. I'm sorry. Twilight bit her lip. That's okay, she guessed. If this is weird, then I can go and ask somebody else. No, that won't be necessary, said Rarity with a shake her head. She smiled at Twilight. Tell me, darling, what was it you wanted me to advise you upon, if not your partnership? Having the conversation refocused was a huge relief to Twilight. It was quick to return to smile and take another sip of her tea. I was just wondering whether I should tell our friends, Applejack, Pinkie Pie, and Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, Hermione suddenly filled in. Well, that depends, said Rarity. What do you want from them? I don't want anything from them, said Twilight honestly. I just want to tell them so they don't worry or think I'm hiding things from them. But I also don't want to make it seem like a big deal, and I definitely don't want to make it seem like I'm bragging about it. Does that make sense? Considering her track record with that question, she wasn't expecting a helpful answer. Rarity, however, offered a wider, warmer smile as she understood completely. It makes perfect sense, she said kindly, laying a huff on Twilight's fetlock. You are, by far, the sweetest, most modest unicorn I ever met, Twilight Sparkle. Don't trouble yourself with trying to explain to our friends. I will take care of everything. Stealing in a whisper conspiratorially. I'll do make sure that Pinkie Pie doesn't throw you a Ponyfield-wide good luck party. Twilight couldn't help but giggle at that. How Rarity. Celia pulled her friend to a gentle hug, which was happily returned. Are you sure that's not too much trouble? Don't be silly, darling, said Rarity dismissively. It'll be my pleasure, but... She pulled back from the hug. I am going to want something in return. Twilight's smile fell as her eyes met with Rarity's serious expression. Oh, what? When you get back, Rarity began, we must sit down for tea again so that you can tell me everything about the display. She finished by flashing a warm smile. Stifling a relieved chuckle, Twilight smiled back at her. Of course I will, Rarity, I promise. Rarity stood up and levitated 2 teacups with her. Good, it's a promise then. With that, she set out towards the doorway from behind which she produced the tea. Twilight got to her hose and stressed a little, sighing as she felt something of a load lifted out from her back. Now, halfway across the room, Rarity stopped. Oh, Twilight, she said, turning to look over her shoulder. Well, I'm happy to take care of tending our friends. It would be best if you were the one to tell Spike, don't you think? You might find it a little odd if I told him you were going away for a week, considering that you live together and all. Twilight giggled. Somehow I don't think he'd mind, she said chucklingly. But you're right, of course I'd tell him. Twilight stood, staring blankly at the calendar in front of her, as she thought back to that day. Oh, so the week has passed since then, though it hardly felt that long. Hours played into days as the day of the display seemed to approach ever faster. Now time had run out. She shook her head and folded her calendar carefully to her saddle bag, before turning to look around the library and slopping at large. It's the last time she was going to see the place for a week. She was having a feeling she was going to miss seeing all of her books each morning. Maybe there's a space in my bag for a few more. She mused, trying out to the nearest bookshelf to pick out a few tiles. Something in the way of advanced magic theory sounded like just the kind of thing she needed. What are you doing? Came Trixie's voice. Nothing, cried Twilight, spinning in place and putting on her best innocent smile. Trixie smirking down at her from the top of the stairs, keep fastened around her neck and flowing over her flank. She looked every bit as lovely as usual, apparently having just allowed herself more time in front of the mirror. That made Twilight a lot less guilty about having to done the same herself. Trixie turned and dashed down the staircase, keep Billy behind her. She galloped right up to Twilight's side before grinding her hose to a halt and throwing a triumphant smirk towards her partner. I bet it feels good to be able to do that again, said Twilight with a smile. Trixie closed her eyes and took a relaxed breath. You have no idea. Taking a step to the side, Twilight noticed that Trixie wasn't wearing any saddlebags herself. Aren't you bringing anything? She asked. I don't have anything to bring, said Trixie blankly, turning to meet Twilight's eyes. This cape is really the only thing I have. Oh, Twilight muttered. She felt a little silly to have asked, knowing that Trixie had nothing to do with her when she arrived. It was actually kind of sad as she thought about it. I'll get her something in Manhattan, Twilight decided with a smile. Oh, what about you? Asked Trixie. Are you done with your last-minute packing? Or do you think you can fit in a few more books into those saddlebags? She nodded towards the bags in question, on the floor beside the nearest table, which were already bulging. I might, said Twilight, definitely prompting a giggle from Trixie. Twilight trotted over and slipped into the saddlebags, fastening them around her waist with magic before turning to look up at the clock. It was just past noon. The carriage would be arriving in Ponyville right about now. Something bumped into her side, keeping her from slipping into thought. Turning a silent look in Trixie's direction, she saw a playful smile on the Snowmare's face. Not getting homesick already, are we? Trixie teased. Twilight rolled her eyes to dismiss the jeer, only for her gaze to settle on her favorite bookshelf across the room. Maybe a little. This will be the first time I left Ponyville since I came to live here. It's kind of intimidating. Wait, what? This will be the first time I left Ponyville since I came to live it. Twilight? Appaloosa. Remember? Grand Galloping Gala. You've been there. And don't try to tell me the age of the fic. I've looked at the release date. This came out in 2012. January. Season 2 was already half over. Twilight had been to Camelot twice by now. 3 times if you count the Heartwarming Eve special. She has been to Appaloosa. Then again, I'm still confused about the whole carriage thing. They do have trains. You know, trains. I like trains. It's only for a week, Twilight. You'll be back here in no time, said Trixie coolly. She paused to flip back to her mane. Besides, there's no need to be intimidated. I'll be there to protect you. Twilight smiled and chuckled at that. Well, when you put it that way, guess it'd be pretty silly for me to worry. Exactly, said Trixie with finality. Now, are we going to meet this carriage, or aren't we? The carriage, which very much resembled a covered wagon, waited for them on the outskirts of town. Well, it was the only thing that waited there. 4 familiar ponies and a certain baby dragon were all messily lined up nearby. They offered smiles to Twilight and Trixie as they approached via the trail, then led out from the library. Train! Train station! Trixie gave Twilight a silent look as they drew near the group of friends. I'll go ahead, she said quietly. You can say your goodbyes. Twilight nodded her approval, and Trixie veered off towards the carriage while Twilight continued on towards her friends. She returned to smiles. Girls, you didn't have to come to see me off, she said, meeting each of their eyes in turn. But I'm glad you did. Undomesticated anthropods couldn't keep us away, darling, said Rarity kindly, assuming it was the others mirrored in their smiles alone. I need cookies, Pinkie declared, bouncing forward to present a small box atop her back. Nanny made me promise not to throw you a potty, but she didn't say anything about presents. She stuck her tongue out to Fashionista, who gave a ladylike eye roll in response. Oh, thank you, Pinkie Pie, said Twilight as the party pony passed over the box. Twilight bounced to the top of her own back with her magic before crossing next with Pinkie in a careful hug. That's really sweet of you. Pinkie pulled back and gave Twilight a quizzical look. Then after a moment, she beamed to let out a start laugh. I get it. Good one, Twilight. Huh? Was that all Twilight managed as the pink ball of excitement was set back, chuckling to herself. Alzak stepped forward to take her place. She met Twilight's eyes with a warm, honest smile. Well, I ain't got you a praiser or nothing, but I figure I'd come to you with good luck anyways. She reached around Twilight's neck and patted her on the back. Well, this display thinker is about the magical talent. I reckon you already got this in the bag, Sir Cube. Twilight felt the beginnings of a tear in her eye. She had to remind herself that once again, she was just going for a week. There was no sense of making a big deal out of these goodbyes. She sniffed more loudly than expected before pulling back to smile at Applejack. Thank you. I'll be back soon. Don't rest yourself, Applejack said softly. You'll have a great time at your display and around Manhattan. It's a nice enough place, if you don't mind the occasional snob. Twilight chuckled and nodded as Rarity trotted up to her. The white unicorn went straight in for a hug, was Twilight happily received. Do take care of yourself, darling, Rarity bade. I will, Rarity. Thanks for everything, said Twilight, squeezing her a little harder. Rarity stepped back and shook her head. Think nothing of it, so long as you don't forget the idea. Twilight nodded. Every detail, as soon as I get back, she promised. As Rarity rejoined the others, only Spike and Fluttershy remained. You know, I love friendship moments like this, but you would think Twilight was gone for a month or something. This is only a week in Manhattan. It's not like she's going to the Badlands or the Dragonlands. And this is not like this is the biggest competition of her life. It is of Trixie's, but not of hers. I'm just saying, there are bigger things to do this with. Now Twilight was going into a magical competition that would really be big, like, say, I don't know, the Moonstone Cup. So I really gotta get going on one day. Sure, but new. Naturally, the Demure Pegasus wasn't exactly eager to take the stage first, so Spike hurried forwards while he had the chance. Twilight hadn't really noticed until then, but his smile was different from the others. It was forced, and he didn't so much as try to hide that when he approached her. You sure I can't come with you, Twilight? He asked. I can just grab some stuff right now. It takes like 2 minutes tops. Oh, I'm so sorry, Spike, but, main characters only, and, important characters only. I'm so sorry, Spike. But remember, this isn't one of those fanfics where we're going to try to turn you into the big old hero. Oh yeah, that's right. This is a good fic. Oh, that hurt! Twilight tilted her head and offered a warm smile. The thought of him bringing along crossed her mind more than once over the past week, and the two of them were practically inseparable after all. Nonetheless, he had ended up deciding to leave him with Rarity, a decision born of purely selfish desire to spend a week alone with Trixie. A selfish desire she didn't regret nearly as much as she probably should have. Woo! Spike, she said, pulling him to a gentler hug around the foreleg. I'll miss you too, but it's only for a week, and we're going to be doing boring stuff for the event the whole time. You'll have lots of fun here with Rarity, right, Casanova? She added in a playful undertone. That prompted a more genuine smile for him, if it only lasted for a second. Yeah, I guess, he muttered. Just send me a letter when you get there, okay? Will do, Spike. Twilight said warmly, giving him one last quick hug before he ran over to stand by Rarity's side. Still don't know why we are all taking a train, guys! Girls? Train! Well, I suppose Twilight having Trixie alone time would be perfect for some good romantic moments, but gosh darn it, I want some shenanigans with Pinkie and the others. With Pinkie trying to get them alone together, or Pinkie trying to get them together and messing up. I want dating shenanigans, darn it! Twilight trotted over to Fluttershy, who was offering a warm smile behind her mane. Thanks for coming to see me off, Fluttershy, said Twilight. It's good to know I have your support. The side Pegasus offered a hasty nod. Yes, of course. Good luck. I'm sure you'll do fine. Or better than fine, probably. She started lowering her voice and trailing off. So Twilight decided to show mercy and simply crossed necks with her. She held the touch just long enough before pulling back with a smile. Fluttershy replied with a smile of her own, though it suddenly faltered when her gaze fell upon Twilight's ear. What's that? She had. If you don't mind me asking, Dennis. Twilight creased her brow and questioned for a moment, then reached up to her ear. It felt like rust up against the tip of the feather. Realization washed over her. Funny. She'd been wearing it for so long now that it didn't seem like it would stand out anymore. Of course, he hadn't seen a lot of her friends, especially Fluttershy, since Rainbow left, so it stood to reason she'd pick up on it. Twilight shook her head, realizing that she had been quiet for a little too long. It's a feather, she explained. Rainbow Dash gave it to me, so I wouldn't worry about her. Fluttershy cast her eyes down in the hollows and shuffled uncomfortably. Oh, my, was all she managed. Come to think of it, I was actually hoping to see Rainbow before I left, said Twilight, curling up in thought. But I guess she's not back from her trip yet. Don't worry about that one, Twilight, said Applejack, preempting the doubts that were already welling up in Twilight's mind. You'll see her at your welcome back party. My name ain't Applejack. Well, your full name is technically Abigail Jacqueline, but that's cutting hairs. Twilight nodded firmly, more to herself than anybody else. Right, of course. Now get along, will you? Said Applejack, giving a meaningful nod towards the carrots. You're gonna miss your big sale, that's right. Knowing that she was right, Twilight started to take a few steps backwards, giving her gaze on her friends. I'm going now, she said sickly. They all bade her another, much more brief round of farewells as he broke eye contact, turned towards the carrots, inside which Trixie awaited. She closed her eyes for a moment to refocus, then tried towards it. Hey, kid! Only to be stopped by a way of familiar, very welcome voice. Swinging in place, she did nothing to hide her excited smile. The Rainbow Dash shot down from the sky and lighted with a powerful thump right in front of her. The trademark smirk on her face was enough to cause dams of Twilight's glee to break. Rainbow Dash! She cried, jumping towards to pull the powerful Pegasus to a hug. Just in time, she remembered her cupcakes and magically caught them, setting them gently down on the ground, while refocusing on her hug. Oh, you're back! You're back! Twilight squeezed her tire, excitement and relief taking over. Rainbow chuckled a little, wrapped a hoof around Twilight. Of course I'm back! What, you thought I'd let you leave before I could wish you good luck? Twilight grunted a question. Huh? How did you? Fluttershy sent me a letter about this display thing, Rainbow explained. I thought I'd come over a couple of days early, see you off. I'll be darned if I miss the day when Twilight Sparkle finally decides to show off how awesome she is. A little heat rose to Twilight's cheeks as she pulled back to smile at the compliment. Rainbow's own smile was more honest than Twilight had seen in a long time. Perhaps her really had done something good. And so, lots of questions whirred away Twilight's mind. There was so much she wanted to ask Rainbow. It was typical she arrived just as Twilight was leaving. The thoughtful unicorn didn't really notice how long she had been staring until Rainbow's gaze straightened upward slightly. She gave a fond nod towards Twilight's ears. You're still wearing that, huh? Oh, yeah, said Twilight intrepidly. Reaching out to brush the feather again. I really like it. You don't mind, do you? Rainbow scowled slightly, shook her head. Wouldn't have given it to you if I minded. I was just going to say it looks good on you. Twilight returned a smile. Thanks. Returning to the side to peer around Rainbow Dash, Twilight saw that her friends were all smiling back at her, though they were already keeping their distance. Twilight lowered her muzzle, stepped a little closer to Rainbow, hiding her question from her eyes and ears. Are you feeling any better? She asked, in a voice that wasn't quite a whisper. Yeah, I am, said Rainbow. She didn't so much as hesitate. Twilight wasn't sure whether that was a good sign or a bad one, but she chose to take it as the former. That's good. Twilight nodded, after herself a smile vaguely. She knew that she had to follow the question of one another, much less comfortable one. So you're going with this? Trixie and I are going to maintain. A side huff on her lips silenced her. Rainbow's smile didn't falter for a second. She looked right to Twilight's eyes of her own, piercing reds, and spoke firmly, but definite warmth. Yeah, I am, she repeated. Twilight's heart breathed a sigh of relief, as she nodded slightly to let Rainbow know that she got the message. Shut up, Twilight, she told herself with a smile. Rainbow withdrew her hoof and stepped back with a smirk on her lips. And on that note, she said with much more volume, you better get going. You don't want to miss your big event. Twilight's eyes went wide in sudden realization. Oh, you're right, we should have left by now, she cried, spinning in place and darting towards the carriage, realizing how ruined that must have seemed. She promptly turned right back around, ran up to Rainbow, nuzzling her neck affectionately. Thanks, Rainbow. I'll see you soon. See ya, A-Kid, Rainbow bade, patting Twilight in a fetlock. With that, another unicorn hurried out to the carriage and sheepered up to the back, where the uncovered part of the vehicle resembled a sort of low-riding balcony. Looking back out towards her friends, she kicked off her forelegs and leaned on the railing, staring at the magic to reclaim her almost forgotten box of cupcakes on the ground from Rainbow. Trixie poked her nose out from the folds of the covered part of the carriage. Ready to go? She asked. Twilight performed a quick mental checklist to make sure she hadn't forgotten anything. Then she gave Trixie a smile. Whenever you are. The Stone Mare nodded and returned the smile. I'll go tell the drivers, she said before disappearing back inside. This is it, Twilight thought, as he looked towards her friends once again. They all tried up to join Rainbow. Together they offered a courtesy smiles. Goodbye, everybody, she called out, waving back in. I'll be back soon. Bye, Twilight. Have fun. Have fun. Holler if you need us. Holler if you need us. Knuckle down, Sugar Cube. Goodbye, darling. Fred's voice was lost amongst the others. Fred's smile and wave were more than enough for Twilight as the carriage jerked forwards, ever so slightly. Spike waved mechanically from the top of Rarity's back, and Twilight made sure to offer him a little wave. Sensing movement behind her, Twilight turned her head. Tracy pushed out from behind the curtains and stepped to Twilight's side with a prideful smile on her face. It wasn't hard to tell she was excited. Not that Twilight herself was excited too. Hey, Trixie! Came Rainbow's yell. Both unicorns turned to see the Pegasus hovering the others. Oliver felt like to draw attention to herself. Tracy furrowed her brow and leaned forwards. What? She called back. Twilight cut. Maggie got the spark of Rainbow's face as Pegasus yelled out, You better take care of our egghead, got it? Tracy blinked as he took in the words, whilst Twilight lowered her head and averted her eyes in embarrassment. Not that she did appreciate the gesture, but Rainbow didn't have to yell it so loud. A moment later, Tracy's lips curled into a smirk. The Azure Unicorn drew herself up to her prized somewhere poise. It cleared her throat. You're not multichrome, Pegasus, she shouted modestly. Trixie, being immodest? Surely, Fick, you jest. The great and powerful Trixie will take care of Twilight Sparkle. Embarrassed as she was, Twilight couldn't stop herself from smiling as a warmth was so fast becoming familiar washed over her again. She turned her eyes back toward her friends, where Rainbow had resettled on the ground in line with the others, apparently satisfied. They already seemed so far away. Trixie smirked and wavered, as she had something come to mind. As an obvious afterthought, she kicked off the rest of her forehose on the wooden railing and leaned towards to call Twilight's friends. But not because you asked me to, Tracy yelled, with a little desperation or embarrassment escaping her tone. That brought a chuckle to Twilight, even she knew they were probably out of earshot by now. One by one, Rarity, Applejack, and Pinkie Pie offered the last wave and turned away. Hurrying down town, Fluttershy waved to turn too, leaving Rainbow Dash as the only one who didn't budge. She stood firm, eyes locked with Twilight even as the carriage began to pick up speed. Twilight liked to think that was her friend smiling, wishing her one last good luck. Behind Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy came to a sudden stop and looked over her shoulder. Dash suddenly noticing that Rainbow hadn't moved. Twilight watched with interest as the mere Pegasus rejoined Rainbow Dash and knelt on her neck to get attention. Are you okay? Came Trixie's voice, snapping Twilight out of her daze. She turned away from Ponyville, and a pair of Pegasi standing on the outskirts, to face Trixie. The showmare was wearing a half-concerned, half-expectant expression, trained totally on Twilight. I'm alright, said Twilight, Nancy smiled. I'm just a little... She paused. Nervous? Excited? Scared? Homesick? Maybe a little of each? What was the word for that? Tense, she decided. Trixie nodded. Maybe because she understood, or maybe just to be kind. Whatever the case, after a moment staring in silence, the Azure Unicorn hopped down from the railing and magically linked to put Twilight's things, her salad bags and a box of cupcakes. You know, this would be easier if we took the train! The Pokemare gave her partner a questioning look, but Trixie simply turned on the spine and carried him inside the carriage, disappearing under the curtain folds. Twilight blinked, still a little confused, but eventually broke into a smile, deciding to take it as a kind gesture. Ponyville was slowly sinking into the distance. The train would be faster. Twilight blushed pensively, wondering what her friends would be doing now that she was gone. They'd probably be going back to normal, she supposed. Unless Pinkie had been allowed to throw some kind of after-the-fact party. An after-the-fact party? No. Silverquill has long since banned me from ever attending any of his after-the-fact videos. Not since I ate his grandpa right in front of him. Look, it was KFC. My brother gave me a dare. He decided to pull out the chicken. How was I supposed to know that Silverquill's grandpa was tasting like fried chicken? I didn't know. Honest. Twilight giggled and shook her head. She backed away from the railing, turned casting only one last glance at Ponyville before pushing inside under the curtains. Next stop, Manhattan.